This is a Meet Your Council Member reading for Sacred Heart. Okay, I have two crystals here. My Zoisite, which is all about trusting the universe, trusting yourself, your intuition, trusting your divine guidance, and then kind of trusting in life and the flow of life, the flow of the universe itself. Everything will work out, that kind of thing. And then I have my smoky quartz here. So this is a root chakra stone, and so obviously it has a lot to do with grounding, also clearing your mind, your thoughts, being focused, being still, being very centered. And then it also has to do with psychic protection, which makes sense because those things would definitely go hand in hand. So the stones I always pick out intuitively beforehand, before I get the code name or anything like that. The code name I retrieve from your guides. Okay, so when I was tapping, I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and surround us in some protective space. Again, I always do this when I get the code name, so I don't normally do it a second time, but for some reason they are asking me to do it a second time. So all I'm doing is visualizing that we are surrounded in protected sacred space. That's really all I'm doing, and I use a crystal to kind of add its energy to the visualization and whatever energies it's good for. So mostly the things that I was just pointing out, and obviously there are other things as well that these specific crystals are good at helping a person with. Okay, so where do I begin here? There was a lot coming up when I was retrieving your code name. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to start with one thing that was coming up was a feeling like you have a spiritual calling for your life, even in terms of your career, what you're going to be bringing, how you're going to assist others and yourself primarily in this lifetime in a very direct way. So that makes me think more along the lines of like career or something primarily that you're going to be doing. Even if it isn't career, it feels like something very primary, not so much like a secondary thing. So probably career is the feeling of it, and the thing that really sticks out along with that would be your third eye. Feeling just a lot of activity here, a lot of psychic ability going on here. Not so much the crown chakra. I was really feeling the third eye. That's what I keep picking up again and again. Another strong chakra that really sticks out is the heart chakra. That's another place that really sticks out. So things like clairsentience, clear empathy. So I differentiate those two. Just basically being empathic or clear empathy, mainly using that ability to actually help you during readings. mediumship, it feels more like something to be tapping into, but it feels like the main thing is these psychic abilities. That's what comes through really strongly. So another thing was with the questions that you were bringing up. So to be honest, when I get an email like this, how do I say it? But when someone is emailing you and they are a little bit mentally not completely there, there's kind of a feeling with that. When you're emailing, even though you're talking about some of those types of things and that you've had some issues with bipolar or some different types of things like this, voices, the kinds of things you were talking about, you sound very clear. You sound stable. You don't sound like someone who is having a kind of like I was saying, like someone who isn't completely there mentally. It really didn't feel that way. So when I came into the reading, I wasn't really expecting anything at all, even though you had said that, especially since you had said it was kind of been a while ago. So I wasn't really expecting anything when I came into it, but then I was actually feeling at first a lot of energies around you. Some of it felt like thought forms. Some of it even felt like entities. Maybe a couple of them. It didn't feel like a lot of them. But it did feel like some were there. Maybe even, I don't know, like almost like an incubus type of energy. One of them definitely felt like at least one of them. So those are basically, you may have heard of those, they're common really, but they're basically an energy that kind of sucks your energy away from you. So they're a type of entity that can kind of latch onto you and just wants to steal some energy. It's not even like that serious of an entity really, although it can just kind of drain you of some of your psychic energy. Because of that, at first I was having a little bit of trouble getting the code name and tapping into your guide. The first time I went into it, I wasn't really getting the code name at all. And so then today I went into it again. So I went into it yesterday, I went into it again today. And I used an extra crystal, which I don't have here with me. It was just for that specifically, just when I was first tapping in. So you should think a little bit about psychic protection. But even with this, I mean, this goes to show that there is actually something that is there, and there definitely was something that was there. So that's the thing about that as well. There was something that was actually, there were actual voices trying to kind of bother you or whatever. It wasn't just something going on in your head. There is an energy that is there to think about banishing, really. It feels like this is something that you want to get rid of, get away from yourself. Okay, so that brings me to another thing, which is there was a feeling of like with channeling and directly communicating with guides or other entities until you banish this stuff away from you. It was kind of feeling like it's better to kind of close off from that. Although you do have a lot of psychic ability, which can definitely be enhanced and improved upon and used. So it felt like that was something that they were more encouraging you to use. But when it comes to engaging something like directly communicating with a guide or another entity, now there's a difference between speaking to the universe or your guides or whatever helpers you want to call on yourself, and just calling on them and maybe feeling them and saying, hey, how are you? Please help me out, kind of thing, versus I'm going to sit here and I'm going to receive messages from them and they're going to talk to me in my head. The reason that I kind of already got into the reason that they were stating for that, it's just because of this other stuff that is around you. It's not because the gift isn't there or because there aren't also positive things that could help you out, and you've probably already experienced some of that as well, because it's not only negative stuff that's there around you that wanted to kind of send you things or block you with different abilities. Okay, so now they're actually talking about the bipolar. They're saying that with, but actually, well, actually, no, they're specifically saying like mood swings is what they're saying, and emotions. So they're not saying bipolar. They're just saying, they're saying like emotions and mood swings is what they're saying specifically, and they're kind of correcting me. But they're talking about this incubus kind of entity. I feel like it's more than one. This is more than one of these suckers, literally. It feels like when you have something kind of pulling something like that from you, that can kind of mess with your mood a little bit, mess with your hormones, and I don't know, there's a word coming in like dysfunctional, almost like there's the energy that they're sending, it feels like, okay, there's like a systematic way that something works, almost like in a rhythmic way. It feels like, let's say even your body as an example, almost like it's working like a machine. So there's almost like a rhythm to it, or even like the ocean or something. There's a rhythm to the way that it just mechanically ebbs and flows. So it's almost like if something were to, the ocean is kind of big, but if something were to suck energy from that significantly, it'd almost be like a kink, like in the system and the way that it works. It would be like, if it's a machine, it would almost be like one of the parts almost jams or something. And it has to kind of smooth out the kink before it can start working in the right order again. So it kind of creates like an inability to function properly in the machine, in the mechanism, so to speak. So it feels like when something is kind of messing with you like this, or trying to drain you of your energy in this way, yeah, it can just kind of throw you off and kind of throw off the natural balance that's there, also the natural groundedness that's there. So that's also would be why I have the smoky quartz here. Also, if you are not grounded, you can pick up on things just more easily in general. You can even pick up on other people's emotions. It doesn't only have to be entities, because they're also bringing that up as well. So empathy as well. And you do have a very strong heart chakra area. So you definitely have some empathy going on there as well. So that's also something to think about. But it doesn't feel like you would be able to really protect yourself significantly until you removed more of this other energy off of yourself. Okay, so I know this is supposed to be a meet your council member reading, but just because of the nature of the information that's coming through, they're not really, your guides are not really coming in with a specific person yet. I definitely feel guides around you, but they're not really revealing themselves. And I know that some of it has to do with this energy. And so they're kind of making you aware of that. And then they would be able to get through with other things. But this is the thing to really take care of and look into. Okay, so we've come to the time frame, and so that is the end of this reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. I truly hope that this information will benefit you in some way. Thank you very much. Namaste.